just want to give you a quick glimpse at what this video is going to be. This is a conversation I had with my friend Dave. I found like this is probably the easiest way for me to convey the information in a conversational way. We talk about the design parameters for my van build, what type of van I'm going to buy, what I considered in making the purchase, etc. I haven't made the purchase yet. We talk about the need for social space in this van, which I thought was really intriguing. And I got this idea from Mike and Stephanie Sheldon, who really discussed the need for that kind of a thing. In this, we talk about the liberal use of magnets in the van. That may seem like a small subject, but it could have a big impact. Everywhere from putting the cabinets together using magnets to lots of other applications elsewhere. And this was inspired by a fellow who goes by the moniker Geokite, and I thank him for some of his ideas. I talk about using aluminum in this van build to build the bed and the cabinets, which I think is a little bit unique. Now, the thing that's held me back a little bit about using aluminum is the idea of how are you going to fasten it together. I'm not really a welder, so we talk about how we can get around that kind of a problem. Also, we talk about a pretty clever swing table, which was shown to me through a video by Derek and Paula from Back to Reality. I think they have a really clever idea, and I think this swing table could really become the focal point of this van build for the type and size of van that I want to build. So without further ado, let's get started. There'll be several more videos after this in the same vein, talking about kind of the design of the van. And so with that, let's get started.
You're looking at the Mercedes Mattress. And remember that the driving parameter in here is the height of my garage, because I want to be able to put this in my garage.
Right.
Okay, so that is about 81 inches. Okay.
At the door?
No, actually, it's a little higher than that at the door, but inside I've got storage racks, which I may move the storage racks. But anyway, we're looking at about 81
yeah,
inches.
but you have the opener, so it's kind of like, well, that's up higher.
Yeah.
Right.
So
racks you can move higher.
Yep. Now, the problem with this, I mean, ever since we looked at the mattress, I have not seen a single mattress on the street. And I was just thinking about it. And they're expensive to maintain.
They're Mercedes,
and they're Mercedes.
Right, and that's
now this article, which originally turned me on. It rates the top 4 mini cargo vans. Number 1 is Mercedes Mattress. Okay, number 2 is the Dodge Ram ProMaster City.
Yeah.
So this is the one that I started looking at.
Yeah, it comes with the 6. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, I've gone through and I've visited the dealer. I did the whole measurement business thing like we did with the mattress, and got all the measurements. And
the point is, you can get it serviced anywhere.
You can get it serviced any place. Right. That's right. And the other thing with it is that there are tons of people on YouTube who have built these camper vans using the ProMaster City.
The pop tops or not?
Some people put pop tops on them. Yep. But
there was something else that I saw. It was a Jeep, and somebody built a box on it, and actually these overlanders, these things. There's a company down in Australia that is building it with the Fuso, the Mitsubishi Fuso body. Truck, and then they put, but it's low, and it pops up.
Yeah,
and they can stand up in it and the whole bit. But when they can lower it down so they can put it into a 10-foot cargo thing. They can ship it all over the world, because people go around the world in these things, right?
Yeah. Well, the other thing is about this is that if you buy a Mercedes, okay, and you fit it out to the nines, it's kind of like buying a house in the ghetto and then making it into a mansion. Nobody's going to buy that thing.
Right.
So this thing, it's low enough price-wise that I can buy it, I can fit it out to what makes sense, and then if I don't like it, I can sell it.
Right.
Okay, so it isn't like I'm building a really expensive custom. Somebody's going to spend a lot of money on it. They're not going to buy a mini cargo van.
No.
So
it's kind of like this thing too. The box I can take off and put on the Fuso.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So the point is that if this thing is just too much, okay, and
So then the challenge for this is this is small, okay? So the challenge is to design the living space in this van, which will serve lots of purposes.
Do they make a stretch one?
Well, I don't want to stretch one anyway, okay? I want to design it for this size, but I don't think they make a stretch one.
Not like the Mercedes.
Not like the Mercedes. Okay. No. So this is what I'm working with, and I went down and I measured them, and I may buy a used one for that matter.
Well, that's the other option you have. With a Mercedes, you'll never have that option because nobody's buying them.
Right.
Yeah.
So after I started looking at this, then I started looking at all these YouTube videos, and I've gotten lots of inspiration. I'm going to show you some of the things that have inspired me. So for example, these people.
So one of the things that I really like about their setup here is that they have all this open floor space inside. Yesterday we actually just kind of hung out in here for a couple of hours, and it was like kind of easy for them to like have people over. They said they had a couple of people in here before to like have dinner and hang out. So I really like that, but it also makes you wonder what you guys do for storage.
I see. Okay.
So anyway, the point of that, the reason I show that is because I like the idea of having a space that you can transform into a social space. You can have somebody over to sit and have dinner, and then convert that into something else. Okay, this is all within this really small space, right?
Right.
But they've managed to do it, and you saw how they did it, and had a little table there, and it kind of, okay. So basically, that's the idea that I got from this video, and then there's lots of other stuff in here. Okay, so that's one of my design goals. This one was kind of interesting. This guy, he's magnet crazy. Okay, so he's got all of his all his cabinets and everything.
I know.
The cabinet here, the door panels, if you want to call them doors, are all held on by magnets. Same type of magnet that holds the solar panel on the top, but in a smaller variety. These are about half inch in diameter. I think they're about 3/16 thick, roughly.
Anyway, the point of this is that when you're down low, you don't want to open a bunch of doors. Okay, cabinet doors.
Right.
You want to just be able to lift them up, get it out of there, so that you can do whatever. You can still have drawers that come out, and they'll have drawer faces and all that kind of stuff.
But in lots of respects, you may not even need to have fronts on them.
Right.
You could just put a board that stuff wouldn't come out.
Right.
Just
Yeah. So you can do
hold
that.
containers in.
Yeah, you can hold containers, and so I like this idea of using magnets liberally throughout the whole thing. And then. So now that's got me thinking about exactly what I'm going to build, as far as the cabinetry, the framing and everything. And one thing I wanted to talk with you about, because I'm really, really looking at this aluminum. Okay.
You mean the what is it, 80-20 or whatever?
No, not 80-20. No, I don't want to do 80-20.
No, that's to me is overkill.
That is way overkill
for what they're
for this.
doing.
I'm talking about like L channel, doing this kind of stuff.
Right.
And then I'm thinking, well, all right, am I going to bolt all these things together? And I don't want to do that because I don't want them coming loose.
Well, yeah, okay.
All right.
But there are Teflon self-locking nuts that will never ever come loose once you take it out.
And the advantage of those is you can take them apart if you want to.
Right, and you can there is a guy, and I'm trying to think of his name. Names are really hard for me. Herb something, and he's doing the 80-20 in a Sprinter.
Yeah.
And so he can take the whole thing apart, basically.
Yeah.
And he's made his own brackets instead of buying them. So he's made his own L brackets and all that stuff. And a lot of that stuff can be also glued. I mean, with
there
some.
you go. Okay.
It can be Screwed and glued.
Screwed and glued, but
and there's some fantastic 3M product out there
Yeah.
that
I've read a few articles.
Mhm.
You know, after I thought about the nut and bolt, then I thought about riveting them, perhaps. Okay.
Well, as far as the body goes, you can put in riv nuts, or
Mhm.
you know what I mean,
Yeah.
where basically you drill a hole and you have a tool that you put it in there and it's like a pop rivet,
Right.
but you can unscrew it and you've got
Threaded.
a threaded nut.
Okay. Well, that
Okay.
might be.
Yeah, so you can put those anywhere you have metal. You can drill the right hole, and it's, as I say, it's like a rivet. You put it in, special tool that you screw the thing onto, and then you pop it,
Mm-hmm.
and it expands it. Then you unscrew it, and then you have a threaded nut that's solid into the body.
Okay, well, I'll have to look into that some more. But the other thing is, I read an article where people are just talking about, you know, the adhesive properties of aluminum, okay, and just gluing things together.
Right. There's a real expensive 3M product that I would, you know, that looked like it would work. And
Yeah,
would
I
think,
mean, you
Right.
just prepare it correctly. You know, you buff the aluminum and then you get the clamps and you just glue it together, basically.
well, as I say, with the right adhesive.
Yeah.
That they say that 3M adhesive is golden.
Yeah.
It isn't cheap, but it's you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So, and whether you know you can get an inexpensive electric caulking gun, so you don't make a mess. You know,
Mhm.
you know, it's very fine tunable. That's an idea.
Yeah.
But making it, as I say, removable might be an idea too. I mean, don't you know what I mean? If you're using those rev nuts and build your thing, and then you can screw it to the body, and that's kind of what Herb did. And I can.
Well, I'll be screwing it to the body regardless.
I understand, but
yeah.
I meant
Yeah.
unscrewable easily.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I meant.
To take them all apart.
Right, and then of course you can build this thing and then decide that you don't want this or this, and you can modify it
Right.
easily.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing with that 80/20. He's
Yeah.
really kind of, but he's really, you know, he's got like the countertop is
Yeah.
wider than the cabinet itself, and it's
Mhm.
got a toe kick. He's done all sorts of things
Mhm.
interesting.
Hmm.
But other than that, so you know, as I say, probably this van is probably a third or 2/3 the price of a Mercedes, or close.
Yeah.
You know, right in there, I'd imagine.
So
So
I was-
engine options, only one engine, 6-cylinder, or
It's a 4-cylinder. Yeah, 2.4 liter,
turboed, or not?
9-speed transmission. So
Yeah.
that's good. It's got a pretty good towing capacity. I bet it you know, it's 28 miles per gallon on the highway.
I know.
So it's itty, you know. it's itty bitty.
Right.
You know, but that's what I want. You know, I want something that's going to fit in the garage, and
Right.
you know, so that's.
And you get a futon and that
Well,
you
I
can,
mean, yeah, well, I'll show you the whole thing here. All right, so now, okay, so that's right. I got some ideas for using magnets liberally throughout this thing, and you know, thinking about you know, stick frame construction, basically using aluminum.
Right. You can get tube, or you can, you know.
Now this is kind of interesting. I want you to watch this. This is.
We had to figure out a way to be able to put a table in that could be put in and taken down very quickly, very effortlessly, and stowed away as if it didn't even exist. And so this is what we came up with. As you can see down here, we've got this black pipe that is permanently affixed to the bed. That's the only part of our table that's permanently set up at all times. But then we've got this table leg that fits perfectly inside this pipe. And once it's inserted, you can see that it rotates 360 degrees. And so if we put it over here above the bed, and then we grab our tabletop, it screws onto the top of the leg like so. And once it's screwed on, because this leg rotates, we can rotate the table as well. And so now whenever we're having dinner, we can sit here and have all of our food. But if I forgot something in the kitchen, or I need to go to the washroom, or I need to just exit the van for some reason, all I have to do is rotate the table over the bed. All of our food stays perfectly level and exactly where we left it. And then I can get out of my seat and I can do whatever I need to do. And then whenever I come back, I just rotate the table back between us again. And then we continue on with our dinner.
So this is key. This is going to be a really essential part of this little living space. It's
This
having
rotating table.
And you can also, I mean, the video explains how to do it, but also I've thought of a modification to extend it. All right. So you can rotate, extend. So I'll be able to extend it even out the back of the van. You'll see.
You could do slides.
Yeah, we could do slides.
You could do slides. Yeah,
But I was thinking of just this main piece of telescoping that piece.
You could do that. The other thing you could do is figure out how you could hinge the thing so you could fill it.
Yeah.
Float it up against a wall.
But I like the idea. I mean, I'll show
So you can get rid of it. What I'm at.
Yeah, but I'll show you what I'm going to do with it because it's going to have another purpose.